is impressive. I get 10 people on before I even start. I like that. Excuse the background noise and the dim lighting. I happen to be in a restaurant. Actually, I'm at Alva on 60th Street, right off of Fifth Avenue. If there's anybody here who wants to come meet me, the Mediterranean seafood spot. And I want to answer some questions. I'm, again, very, very proud of the team at Veritaseum and very proud of the work that has been done. Again, the market cap, so to say, is not necessarily a strong indication of valuation, but you know, it is a measure. You know, it's actually inaccurate, but we'll get to that in detail in later videos. But Veritaseum has been steadily number 1 or number 2, every now and then number 3 for well over a couple of weeks, and it's been climbing. Veritaseum's value, not price, but value, is woefully misunderstood, and hopefully we get to bring that to the fore with the next few announcements that we'll make. You know, Veritaseum as a token will be touching sovereign nations, right? Reshuffling the power structure of the world. And bringing generational wealth to individuals and bringing paradigm shifting wealth to corporations. Yes, you know, big things. As a matter of fact, we think it's so big that, you know, there's this term, the, you know, nature of tokens, you know, seems to diminish the idea. There's a lot that I want to communicate, and I think I'm going to hire professional communication firms to assist this. And of course, you'll have me, you know, Reggie, talking on. So one thing I'd like to address, which I've addressed several times, both before the offering and after, is the questions as to tokens. Thank you very much, Asthmatic, Vineyard, and TR. Okay. Now, there were 100 million tokens authorized by the smart contract. Okay. We put up to 51 million tokens up for sale. Okay. Only 2 million tokens, a little less, say 1.9 something million tokens were sold. Okay. One of the reasons is because we did not do the industry standard marketing route. Professional marketers, pre-sales, institutions, etc. There were no pre-sales. You know, we opened it, and when it, you know, once we started the sale, it was started, and first come, first serve. Doing it that way, a lot of the smaller entities, individuals, and companies with foresight got into it. Afterwards, we closed it. We have roughly just a little over 98 million tokens in our reserve. Okay, I plan to selectively give out all 98 million. So not give out, but sell all 98 million. Now, there are a lot of individuals and entities that seem to be disturbed by this. The reason they're disturbed is because they simply don't understand our business model, and I think they don't understand the token model to begin with. Now, if you've heard this, bear with it. If you haven't heard it, listen very carefully. Veritaseum sells software. We don't sell securities. We don't sell investments. We're selling software. The Veritaseum software is a key to get into the Veritaseum products and services. Okay? This key as a token enables a wide cornucopia of things. We've announced our first public client, the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Next week, we go into our second meeting. The very, very powerful entity. It's actually an exchange on a global basis, one of the top 10. Okay, they're very interested, and that's going to be a killer. We have a high net worth individual, which is on the other side of this spectrum. This high net worth individual made a large purchase of the tokens, and they were looking to do a cornucopia of things, from restructuring and selling medical practice and healthcare institution, to selling and buying real estate, to what's it called, estate planning. Okay. Now, everybody asks, if we sell these tokens, you know, are they gonna drive down the price? Price and value don't equal the same thing. Number one, any of these, I'm gonna start answering questions for Smoky Crop. Are these tokens being sold? I missed it. Smoky Crop, are these tokens going too fast? I can't answer the questions, but I'm pretty sure you can. I'm pretty sure that you can ascertain the answer to the question as I go on. So I'm trying to do a lot of things and read questions, answer at the same time. There are 86 people viewing this simultaneously, which is impressive. Do me a favor. I'm going to go on, share this video, like the video, get a larger crowd. So, when we sell these tokens, they're not securities, they're not stocks, but a lot of people, particularly people in the cryptoverse, are trying to synonymize these tokens with stocks. You're not sharing a common pool of earnings or a common pool of capital, okay? So you don't have accretion and dilution like you would with stocks. So more tokens don't necessarily mean lower price or value for everybody's share. As a matter of fact, that's the antithesis of what the actual truth is. The more tokens that I sell, the more valuable the entire token pool of Veritas is, and the more valuable Veritaseum is. Why, you ask? Well, we are an advisory and consulting firm, and we deliver our services on top of a software platform. Our software platform is a platform. Our software platform is okay. So YouTube app failed, but here we are. Okay. So an example of how this works would be to take another software concern that benefits from the network effect of selling on a platform. So let's take EA, Electronic Arts. Now, I'm a little old, so I'm almost 50, so I don't play games like I used to, but I have 2 sons, and they play, okay? This Electronic Arts, I think, sells GTA, Grand Theft Auto, or Madden, etc. But these games are sold individually, okay? And these games benefit from users. So, if Electronic Arts would have 100 million copies of Grand Theft Auto, or Grand Theft Auto 2, 3, 45, or whatever it is, assuming they do sell Grand Theft Auto, and they sold 2 million of these copies, they'd make a lot of money up front. Okay? Now, those in the cryptoverse are alleging that Electronic Arts would be better off if they sold 2 million copies of the software versus 100 million copies of the software. Now, when you frame it in that perspective, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. The reason why it sounds ridiculous is because the more of the network software you sell and the more users you have in the network software, the more valuable the entire network is and the more revenue that comes into the company. Now, you understand the linear growth of revenue, okay? The more software we sell, the more revenue we get linearly. Now, let's look at the exponential growth. Instead of this, it spikes up like that. The reason is, exponentially, with the network effect, you sell 1 copy of Grand Theft Auto, you can play it on a standalone version. Okay? You go online, there's nobody to play with. You have to play with AI, artificial intelligence. You sell 2 copies, okay? Now you can play with each other. 2 guys can play with each other. More fun, and they don't have to be in the same room. You sell 100 copies. Now there's a greater chance of several people being online. You have a real game going. You have a real tournament. Now, Grand Theft Auto is significantly more valuable than 100 individual copies of Grand Theft Auto added together. When you start to sell 1 million copies of Grand Theft Auto, assuming the network can handle it, the physical network or the software network can handle it, now you have a full community of users. This community of users can actually sell their own network tokens inside, which have value like real money. These community of users increase the value of each and every single copy of Grand Theft Auto, and they increase the value of the entire pool of Grand Theft Auto as well. Grand Theft Auto is now more valuable for every single copy that you sell. Not only making more revenue for the company, but making a more valuable network and gaming platform for all users. Grand Theft Auto, or Veritaseum, is like the EA of gaming, except the network effect for Veritas tokens is significantly larger than it is for gaming. It's significantly larger even than it is for the internet. Same scenario. You go on the internet, you have 1 machine connected, even connected to the internet. Very little relative value. 2 machines, you could go back and forth. 40,000 machines, you have a true network that works. 400 million machines, you have significant value that's unmatched from anything before. 4 billion machines, the internet is the planet, it is the world, it is business. Okay? Veritaseum will be the internet of value transfer. Okay, so when people ask me questions such as, is Veritaseum's business model taking over the exchange and replacing exchanges? No, and I would never think that's small. Okay, Veritaseum's business model is becoming the pipes, the mechanism, and the transfer unit of value throughout the world. Okay, now I'm going to start answering questions because I've been yapping for a while. I really, really like the turnout here. We have 105 simultaneous members on board, 44 share. Everybody like it, everybody share. Pound that like button. That's right, asthmatic. Gary M., when you rent out your Very, do you get it back after the contract? Very good question. Okay, we actually created a proof of concept mental app. I scrapped it, threw it away. We're doing it again. I had to beef up the development team in terms of actual communication skills. We have some real crackpot guys at it. We've updated the Rent app, and now the Rent app is significant. For instance, there are two ways to rent Very. Rent Very. You have economic rent, okay, where you basically give the tokens or sell the tokens to somebody, or give them or pledge them to somebody. You rent them to somebody. You rent your tokens to somebody who wants to engage in one of our financial machines, but because of the scarcity of Veritas, they don't have enough. So if the proportion of Veritas to US dollars, the Veritas to F, is 1 to 100, where you need 1 Veritas for 100 F, or 1 Veritas for $100,000, and then if they want to enter into a $100 million deal, they would need 1 million Veritas. If they can't source that from the markets, or if they cannot get it from us for whatever reason, they can go to those who are willing to economically rent their Veritas, and those Veritas holders will pledge their or rent their Veritas, put it in the contract, but by economically renting it, they expect more than the accounting value of the Veritas they put in. So if it's a 1 to 100 ratio, and they put in 1 million Veritas, they may say they want 1,500,000 worth of Veritas value in return at the end of the deal, assuming the P&L of the deal is positive enough to give them that ratio back. So you put in 1% of the deal, you get 1.5% of the deal out. Or you put in 1% of the deal, you get 10% of the deal out. All depending upon the ratio that's agreed upon and the scarcity to the Veritas. Now, how would this work in the actual real life scenario? And I'm not going to go over economic rent. For those who don't know the term economic rent, simply hit Investopedia, hit Wikipedia, Google it, look it up. So you have BlackRock. BlackRock says, yo, this Veritas stuff is really a good idea. Okay? I don't know if you're feeling Reggie Middleton, but we like his idea. And Reggie Middleton is repackaging and selling the distressed assets from Jamaica, from Trinidad, from Cuba that he just accessed with new markets, and from other areas in the Latin American, African diaspora, Caribbean, and South and Central America. Okay, these assets, pretty good deal. Okay, and they're currently selling 15, 20 cents on the dollar. So we want to go on and move this, but they're exclusive to Veritaseum contracts. So we need Veritas to get in. We can only source 500,000 Veritas. We need an extra 500,000. So now we have Veritas holders who are saying, listen, we will rent our extra 500. We will rent you the extra 500,000, but in exchange for that, we want 10% of the deal to take down. Okay. BlackRock says that's a bit aggressive. Okay, but we'll go for it. He's using nominal numbers. They enter in the deal. BlackRock buys these assets at 10 cents on the dollar, turns around, resells them after they've gone through a workaround, resells them at 50 cents on the dollar. They get a 5 times return, right? That 500% return, the Veritas holders now get, do the math, right? The 10 times return on the 5 times return, right? The 10 times return, the 5 times return, very, very large. That type of leverage is what the economic renters get for economic renting their Veritas. So that's economic rent, part one. Now we'll also, through the same interface, which I may preview next week, and I will definitely preview the old interface when I get around to it. I have it in video, but I haven't gotten around to it because I've been busy. Okay? And we're at Avra on 60th Street in Madison, 5th Avenue. If anybody wants to come by, I'm going to talk in person. Okay? Not treating them. Okay? Now, contract rent is different. Contract rent is what most people think of in terms of rent, where you have an apartment, you enter into a lease, and you say, I'm going to pay X amount, X period on X amount of dollars or euros or whatever the unit of account is, every X time period for X amount of time to the X period of the lease agreement. So this contract rent is also available through the Veritas interface, where you will rent your Veritas. Okay, you may or may not request, and then most likely should request collateral to make sure your Veritas comes back to you. at X amount. Collateralization could be 5%, 50%, 100%, 120%, 150%, etc. Okay, they're free to use this in one of our financial machines. Okay, and at the expiry of the financial machine, they have to, or the expiry of the financial machine contract, they have to return the value of the Veritas that they put in. Okay, the Veritas is consumed by the financial machine, but they have to return the Veritas, the value of the Veritas that they put in to the rentee. So the renter compensates the rentee according to the contract. So you do get a return that way. The contract rent mechanism is very similar to a fixed income return, where the economic rent scenario is very similar to a capital gain style return. Okay, and these are returns on your Veritas, and the Veritas is the software unit. So I went through a significant explanation. I hope I got it. I hope I communicated it well. In each scenario, the Veritas itself, tokens, are consumed by the financial machine, but you do get a return. One is a bit more uncertain because it depends on the P&L of the actual project, of who you're backing. The other one is backed by the contract, and it's more of a fixed income yield perspective. Okay, now, if there are any questions to ask, I'm looking at the question thing now. I've been bypassing and ignoring the questions because I'm trying to think in real time. None development whatsoever. That's nonsense. Of course, we're developing. We have an entire platform that was running in beta since 2013. We were the first. Any new exchanges to buy Veri? Please. Exchanges are not my business. I can request that they list it. If they don't, then they don't. There's not a lot I can do about forcing someone to run the business the way they want, the way I want to. But we do have alternatives, such as we're going to a joint venture with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, with the digital asset exchange itself. That will likely be the best capitalized digital asset exchange in the entire world. Assuming we have positive results in the next round of negotiations with the second exchange, we're talking multi-trillion dollars of capitalization. Okay, and we're working on our own decentralized exchange, etc. So we don't need to be listed. You know, we're flexible, we're entrepreneurs, we're aggressive, we're intellectually aggressive. So if there's something in our way, we simply move around it, remove it, we make do. Now, I'm not in competition with exchanges, and I don't want to compete with exchanges, but we, of course, would like to bring the same liquidity that our competitors have to our tokens as well. The fact that we could trade on #1 market cap is phenomenal, considering the people who purchase this do not have fiat access to these purchases. Alpha Delta, which is the decentralized exchange that is currently available on, and there's another one, Mercury Stocks, I think. They are not easy for the layperson or the newbie to use without significant reading. But you know, despite that, we still do between $1 and $4 million a day volume, and we're #1 in market cap. And we don't have any mentioning in mainstream media or the industry-specific media. So despite all this, we're still #1. Very impressive. I'm very proud of my team. What's the news on 24? I don't know about that. I don't know anything about 24. That was something that somebody else said. I'm going to be winding down in about 3 minutes. So if there are any questions, please, let's have them now. Reggie, please read your Twitter, direct messages. I sent you a message. Okay, I will do that. I get a lot of messages, so it takes a long time to get to them. Okay, so if I overlook them, it's just because I'm busy. It's not because I'm not trying to. Armando Brands, he's answered that already, so catch the replay. Doing good, Reggie. Anything on Jamaica? Yes, there is something. Well, we have the memorandum of understanding, which we're now fine-tuning to a final contract. We're started building the exchange from a code perspective. Okay, and in addition, I'm going back to the country, and I am petitioning Jamaica at the very top to have them and their financial institutions sell us their distressed assets, their non-performing assets. And we would take these assets and we would veritize them, not monetize them, not securitize them. We would veritize them, bring the truth to them, and we would sell them through either our own digital asset exchange or others, as Veritas tokens or Veritas sub-tokens. We're serious. We're not doing just Jamaica. I have up to 10 countries in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa identified. We're also looking at the Middle East, Central and South America, North America, and when the Europeans, you know, going to find the contacts in Europe, we're going to Europe as well. I right? Not just the periphery of Europe either, but the periphery of Europe where we find a decent amount of distress. Okay, what the hell has heard of the Jamaica stock market? No one? Okay, very good. It's now professional comment. Please make sure the video goes up because I need to watch a few. The video should post automatically if it doesn't crash again. I'm getting lots of comments. So can't read all of them, but I'll try to go back. Keep doing. Thank you, sir. I can tell you have passion. Yes, I have plenty of passion. Plenty of passion. You mix passion with capital and drive, intellectual capacity, and you have a dangerous combination. Hopefully that's what Veritaseum is. I'm proud of my team. Veritaseum team is diverse, okay? Unfortunately, I'm the only one that likes to go on the camera and yap, so I'm the only one that you see. But take a look at what we put out. You know one man cannot do it. You know 23 men can't do it. And we're looking, we're hiring anybody who are experts, anybody who has a strong book of business for business development. Sovereign nations, buy-side funds, buy-side institutions, okay? We're looking for you. Come try me if you want to work for Veritaseum. We'll pay market rate, maybe slightly below market rate in terms of salary, but you get a decent dose of tokens. Our tokens are the best performing tokens in the industry, okay? In terms of actual date over the last 2 or 3 months, compare that to any other 2 or 3 months of the first 2 or 3 months of any other token. We're also in the top 20 of all tokens of all performance, period. So I'm proud of it. I'm proud of everybody who supported us. I'm happy. I'm passionate. I'm ready to go. How to test the financial robust before use. We do that internally. When they're ready to beta, we're going to set them up to the public and let the public beta test them, because that's the only way we test. We put it out in the wild. We will cap and limit the amount of assets it could take, okay, both on an aggregate basis, on an individual basis, because it is a beta. A beta means it is not ready for prime time, so we're not going to let anybody lose a fortune, because that would be bad business for us and bad publicity, plus we don't want to hurt anybody. We're not going to do the Dow like from last year, okay? We will test this. We will test it internally, hard. We will have it audited, and then we will also bring it out to the public. Minute test, $500 US dollar value cap, okay? $1,000 value cap, $50,000 value cap, $100,000, $150,000. As we get more comfortable with the robustness of the security, the usability, etc., we will lift the caps. I don't know if we'll make an unlimited cap, but we'll lift it to make it usable. Okay. So, keep pressing it. Why don't you talk about that? I don't know what you're talking about. 13th on market cap right now. I'm very proud of that, but remember, price times circulating tokens does not equal valuation. It equals price. Okay, but that's a more complex discussion. But I still like to see that number 1 next to us anyway, even though it can be misleading. So I'm going to sign off with 202 simultaneous users. I like that. 74 likes. If there's anybody in the Avra, in the area of ours, the 60th Street and 5th Avenue, the block over from the Apple Store. As a matter of fact, I think I will treat. As long as there's less than 10 people, I give everybody drinks. Why not? Okay? Come see me. Au revoir. It's a good thing that I have a strong community. There's going to be a few media reports out as well, and that's going to be an interesting ride. Okay, but we'll finish that at another later time, because I've been on here for 24 minutes now. Peace, everybody. Thank you for the support. Let's change the world. Let's alter the power structure of the world, 1 token user at a time.